back at the Rice Lake Curling Club, and we're going to get back into some curling basics. This one is not necessarily just for skips, it's kind of for the entire team. But we're with Bill Kind, who has a lot of experience in also kind of walking his team through how they can use on-ice information to benefit the team, but also pick up earlier on sweeping and such as that. So I'm going to have Bill explain a little bit of split timing and stopwatch usage.
Okay, stopwatch is a valuable tool to help you, especially if you're curling on ice that's unfamiliar. You want to know the speed of the ice. Early in games, what I'll typically do is I'll time the speed of the rock from the hog line to the tee line if I get a rock that ends up in that general area. In our club, typically, once we get the ice broken down, we'll have ice that we call 24 and a half second ice. That means it timed from start when it just crossed the first hog line to stopping at the other end. With sweeping, that might be 25 and a half second ice. What it does, it gives us all an idea how fast the ice is. If in the first end it's 21 or 22 second ice, then we know that we have to throw a little firmer to accomplish the same thing. Another aid is to do split timing. Split timing simply means that we time the period of time between when the rock touches the back line and the first hog line. On our ice, typically a 3.8 second period of time is about a 24-second draw on normal ice. If it's 3.7 or 3.6, means you got to throw a little firmer. If it's a 3.9 or 4.0, the ice is faster. Typically that 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, each tenth of a second is about 6 feet further that the rock travels. Knowing what the split time is, and if the sweepers and the throwers are all aware of it, it helps whoever throwing to have an idea how hard they need to throw the rock. It also helps the sweepers if they're able to check their watch. A lot of guys the sweepers have the watch right on their brush. It helps them, if they see that the split time is a little slow, they might have to pick up the sweep a little earlier. Personally, I trust this up here, but I do use this for a backup to confirm this is what I thought it was.
Well, you can communicate between yourself, and the skip, but once you have this information, as long as you're using the stopwatch, it is probably good to use it, and it always benefits if you can start your sweep earlier rather than waiting for the skip to call you on. And if you can let him know about where it should arrive, that's one thing that kind of helps him. And if everything else is good, line is good and so forth, then the split times do make quite a helpful tool.
Yeah, and you can use split times for takeouts too. You'll hear in higher level competition, they'll talk about a 3-0 split for a normal takeout. So if the split time is higher or lower accordingly, they give that information to the skip on the other end, and that helps in calling line. In your practice, if you want to do one thing for your team, practice takeouts and time the splits, trying to get your splits the same, every takeout the same.
That is maybe what will be the take-home message on this is using splits to work on your timing or work on your practicing so that you can kind of get down into a repeatable shot making and that type of thing.
One caution, if you rely on split solely, you're going to get in trouble because some people, when they release their stone, they give a little forward momentum. Some people pull back, depending upon how fast they're sliding or what this brain up here tells them. So it's just a tool to confirm what you're thinking. There's nothing that beats experience, having gone down the sheet with a rock hundreds or thousands of times.
But just kind of keeping everybody communicated, that really kind of helps. The other thing we wanted to talk about, switching gears a little bit, is a sweeping process. Just want to roll a rock over, Bill, and you can show that the sweeping area here, it rides on that little ring.
The running surface is about 4.5, 5 inches. So when you're sweeping a stone, that's the area that you want to sweep. You don't need to go way past, that does no good. It's this area right in here, close to the stone and just across the running face. And of course, the rule is you always have to finish away.
Finish.
Another key, don't drop your broom down like this to sweep. If you got any dirt on your brush at all, you may foul the rock. So this is all you need to do about that far.
You know, this may help a lot of people because there is a lot of energy expended when you're going on these long strokes, and you're really not benefiting it as much as you think.
So you see people sweeping alongside here, they're really doing more harm than good. They're pushing dirt in front or sweeping way over here. They're getting exercise. They're not helping.
Okay, a couple of other things. We now know what the running distance is, but what, you know, as we have some of the teams with a little more age and so forth, if you're trying to conserve energy, what's the difference in one person sweeping versus two, Bill?
Typically, the person closer to the rock has a greater effect. They say 75% versus 25% out in front. So 75, 25, and if the skip runs out to help, not much.
Not much.
You're better off staying in the house and call the line.
So we have, you know, the idea here is that, you know, one person is going to give you a lot of the help. And then the other thing is, what if you pick the sweeping up a little further down the sheet? Just, you know, if energy conservation is kind of a big thing, where would you pick up probably the biggest advantage?
Studies show that sweeping in the first third of the rink really doesn't help the rock much at all. You're better off to let the rock settle. You can take the rock a long way the rest of the way, and especially for pond lining. So you do more harm than good sweeping early.
Well, there we have it, skips and teammates. You also now have picked up a bunch of information on split times and also sweeping strategy. And we hope that this gives you some additional tools that you can use. Thanks much.